All right, people, Mr. Right here with lesson 7 for the alto saxophone. In this lesson, I introduce eighth notes that'll move twice as fast as quarter notes. Like a quarter note goes pow, pow, pow every single beat. Well, eighth notes, you can put two of them into one beat, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da 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 da, like so. So you can feel those downbeats and the upbeats, or the first half of the beat and the second half of the beat. Let's say your foot's tapping on the floor, going pow, pow, right where the quarter notes used to be on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when your foot hits the floor, that's the first half of the beat, and then till you reach the top, when your foot is at its highest point, that begins the second half of the beat, or the upbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up. So we're talking about that in this lesson. So to do that, so that you can kind of feel that sensation under your fingers as you play, what I've done is I've given you two new notes I need you to learn. The high F sharp, which is octave key, 1, 2, 3 of the left hand, and middle finger of the right hand. Again, that's octave key, 1, 2, 3 of the left hand, and the middle finger of the right hand. That's an F sharp. And then we're going to also learn to play an E, and the fingering chart for both of these are at the top of page lesson 7 there. So you got your E and your F. When we play downbeats, I'm going to have you put your finger down. When we play upbeats, I'm going to have you bring your finger up. Now, the alto saxophone is the only instrument right now that has these two notes that are different than the rest of the band, because for the rest of the band, they could play the same old notes that we were doing before, and they could get that same sensation of moving the slide in or picking up valves and such. But for the saxophone, I had to give you a different finger combination to work with. So you've got your F sharp and your E. So you'll be playing, whereas the rest of the band will be playing just like that. So you'll be playing two different notes. They'll form a nice, beautiful little harmony against the rest of the band if you're playing with somebody else, or you'll hear it in the backing tracks. So let's try number 1. And where we start off with the F sharp, E, F sharp, and then we'll play quarter notes. So let's start off with that one, with that new finger. And again, these fingerings that you'll need to be at the top of the lesson on the PDF file. So here comes number 1. And I've got also in the metronome that's set to 90 beats per minute, I've got little eighth notes clicking along like this. 1, like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the way you can hear how those eighth notes pop in and out. They divide up the beat evenly. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, and number 2, let me get my mouse fixed up here. All right, number 2, you've got E, 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 F sharp. Notice that little bar that connects those two notes, those two stems together. That means those are eighth notes. They move twice as fast as these quarter notes over here. So you got to be very aware to watch for that. When you see that single bar connecting it, these two stems together, or a group of 4 notes together, you know that those are eighth notes. Later on, we'll see 2 bars connecting them, which will mean those are 16th notes, that you could stick 4 of those in one beat. But for right now, we're just dealing with eighth notes. So it'd be 1 and 2, 3, 4. So these first 2 notes right here fit into beat 1 all by itself. So this is just beat 1 right here. 1 and, this is the first half of the beat. This downbeat is the first half of the beat. The upbeat is the second half of the beat. So let's try number 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now, number 3 is the same exact exercise. Instead of putting the arrows though this time, what I'm doing is showing you how to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. And notice that this little plus sign is pronounced and when you're counting music as the way musicians do this. So number 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Make sure you're counting your mind. All right, now in number 4, what we're doing here is we're having the eighth notes occur on beat 4. They were occurring on the first beat of this second measure, but now we're going to put them on beat 4. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Now you'll notice in this measure especially that we've got downbeats occurring where you put your first finger down for that E, and every time you go to that second upbeat, down, up, E, F sharp, just like that. So you'll be able to feel the downbeats and feel the upbeats with that first finger. So here comes number 4. 1, 2, and 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Number 5, right here, we start off and we go 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and rest, 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1. So you need to be able to look at measures like this measure right here, 3 from the end, where you're going 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. You got to keep track of that by counting in your mind. If you just kind of try to follow along with your eyes, sometimes your eyes can easily get lost with all those little note heads right there. So it's easier if you go 1 and 2 and 3 and just look at it as a whole, that whole measure as a whole, and say, oh, I'm resting on beat 4, so I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and like that. So let's try it, number 5. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Then right here, number 6, we hit that low G that we were playing in some of the earlier exercises, like number 5. The G without the octave key, just all it is thumb 1, 2, 3 and your G. So you'll go G, E, F sharp, like that. And notice this is something that you won't normally see, where it says start soft at the beginning of a crescendo. This is a crescendo marking. That means we're going to start with a soft airstream and then increase the airstream while maintaining a firm embouchure so that our embouchure doesn't get blown out. We don't want the note to go flat, so we're going to crescendo and make our air go faster into this next measure. So we'll go ta ta dum like that, and just lightly tongue these 2 notes right there. So let's try that. And I'm writing this in where it says start soft just as a thing. Anytime you see a crescendo, just automatically get soft at the beginning of it and crescendo. It'll give you more room to expand that airstream. So here comes number 6. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's that one. That should give you a good idea as to how to tackle Lesson 7 for the alto saxophone.